Well, David, welcome to the program. Thank you so much, and I'm pleased for you. You've had some rain over the weekend after a bit of a dry period in Canterbury.
We have had rain over the weekend. It was great. It sort of came at the end. Everyone was flat out harvesting. It was good nor'west last week to allow harvest to get, the barley to come in. And so, no, everyone's in pretty good mood.
So I understand there's even some snow on the tops.
Yeah, we have a bit of snow on the tops, and our Mount Hutt's well covered, and it's been covered a few times already this month. So hopefully it's not a sort of a for the future cooling down, but would like summer to carry on, or autumn to be warm. But yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Is that unusual to have snow at this time of year?
Oh, look, no, it's not. Usually you get once or twice a month right through the year. You'll get a skiff of snow through the top. So no, it's not unusual at all. It's just when you tick into autumn and it starts to cool down, it's a wee, you start to think about winter coming on.
So what else is happening at the moment in the Methven area, the Mount Somers area?
Well, through mid Canterbury, the foothills area, it's probably been the barley harvest coming in, and people just cruising into that winter, autumn mode. Dairy farms are scanning pregnancy testing cows, and most people, I think, would be relatively happy with the results. I know the Arable guys are pretty happy with the results they've had with regards to being able to get harvest in after a sort of a stop-start beginning to it in January. And so, Methven, the foothills area has been a good summer for the livestock side within the foothills. In the back country and the Ashburton Lakes district, they have been very, very dry due to the lack of nor'west, and the rivers are low, which I think is having a small effect on irrigation water availability.
I guess you must count your lucky stars in many respects, because you're one of the few areas in the country that's in perfect nick. When you think of Southland, Otago with their drought conditions, and of course the disaster in the North Island, very trying times continue.
It is, isn't it? And you think you do sort of count your lucky stars. Every province in New Zealand has its challenges at different times, and at the moment it's Southland and the East Coast, and we can't forget Northland. They've had a hell of a run over this summer with the amount of rainfall they've had, and then this final sort of crack of the cyclone destroying the East Coast infrastructure, which I think that's the loss of that infrastructure. That's the really big one, isn't it?
And of course, I mean, not that you've been, eased of any of the burdens as well. I mean, you had the big floods just last year, didn't you? I mean, which were devastating.
We did have that flooding event, last year or the year before.
It was last year, wasn't it?
And yeah, I think so. And you do think about it, and I sort of think about it, how we cope with it. But I think the big difference in this event is that it's such a widespread one up in the North Island, and the devastation to those local rural infrastructure and the access thing. We didn't have any of the loss of access to our properties, and we just had to deal with the problems that we had on our farms, and that was good. It wasn't good, but it was much easier, much simpler. You weren't having to worry about the community as such.
Mm-hmm. So what are the locals? Are they concerned about anything at the moment? What are the issues that you're facing in the Mid-Canterbury region?
It's all more around the classical government compliance side of things. The area that Feds plays in that regional advocacy and district council advocacy, and the implementation of rules that the central government has put forward. So that's where the stresses are within Mid-Canterbury, and the climbing interest rates and that side of things as well. The drop in the dairy payout will have a significant impact on people and the local economy. So that's probably the stresses within Mid-Canterbury at the moment.
And are you finding, I mean, the prices still continue to rise? There doesn't seem to be any easing of that in any point?
Well, I suppose the fertiliser prices have stabilised, and that's one of the big key costs for us. Labour prices, that's probably the really real pressure point, and labour availability. There's still a significant shortage of labour within the dairy sector especially, and then even within the transport companies and the contracting companies. Yes, we have some short-term gap fillers with regards to the English and Irish travellers that come in and fill those roles, but there is still that long-term issue to try and solve. How do we make these jobs a full-time journey for school leavers to develop and grow through.
And what about autumn? It's underway. How do you feeling as you approach another winter? Things are pretty okay.
Yeah, look, McKennary's well set up going into the autumn period. I just looked at the MPI feed survey that we had to gets to have a look at, and McKennary's in a positive position for that. We've had good grass growth and silage conservation over the latter period of summer. So that side of it's good. Animals are in good condition, and really it's just on that financial and compliance side going into the autumn that people are wondering about, and especially with the winter grazing regulations coming forward, and how we're going to comply with that, and getting people on board with that side of things as well, to put the farming's best foot forward.